expert authority world, you know I'm always trying to bring you the best of the best. And there's been people lately that I flat out have not wanted on the show or just said not right now because there's been multiples of the same thing. I'm always looking for fascinating. I'm always looking for sure, business acumen. You know, if you're starting off a business, fantastic, sincerely. But get it to a point where you're comfortable speaking and doing things before you start going out doing big time stuff. And I have hundreds of people that are trying to get on the show, and I have Spencer Van today. He came across the desk, and I talked to the team, and I'm like, he is beyond fascinating. How would you like to help people by giving money away? I go, this is fascinating. What is he doing? He's the CEO of Surplus Fund, and he helps recover money for families across America. And I'm excited to jump into it because I don't know all the details. I didn't meet him before. It wasn't a prior relationship. It wasn't a client I was helping with a book or anything. And I was just like, he is fascinating. He's doing good stuff. He's putting good back out there, which is another thing I look for if you are trying to get on the show. But I was like, we absolutely need to have him on here. So I am super excited for today's guest, Spencer Van, and I'm going to bring him up right after we thank our sponsor. You're already the expert, but have you transformed your expertise into a tangible asset that will generate and qualify leads while increasing profit for you 24/7? And if so, how well are you promoting it? With the Expert Authority Effect publishing method, it's easier and faster than ever. Visit freebusinessbookpublishingcourse.com today to learn the 7 steps to publish and promote your nonfiction lead and profit. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Spencer Van. Spencer, how are you feeling today? Well, I'm happy to hear that. I was trying to do you justice because literally I'm super excited to have you on. You do seem fascinating. I love what you're doing, but there's sometimes people I meet at conferences and events. We're both speaking on stage and you get to know them a little bit. And I would love to meet you in person, but we just didn't meet at a conference or something. And you're not one of my author client right now. You're not one of my author clients right now. And I'm just like, I still need to have you on, but I'm just as excited to learn as the audience. So tell us, what is Surplus Fund and how the heck did you get into it? Okay. Hmm. Wow, good for you. I want to touch on something. I didn't want to ruin your flow there, but you had said a couple of things. One of them I'll joke about shortly, but you were talking about how you just didn't know about it. And you also said about being a nuisance. Why do you felt like it was being a nuisance? I can relate 100%. Whenever I hone in on something, I'm like, I want to know everything to make the best informed decision and just be knowledgeable. But I even put something out earlier today, like, when did people start going like, hey, do you, like, just in general everyday life, hey, do you mind if I ask you when you started your business? Like, how is that like something offensive? Like when you said nuisance, it's like why? What, do you think we became conditioned to like not ask questions? It's like how the heck do you learn? 100%. Oh, okay. So it wasn't because you were asking multiple questions. It's how you were stepping into the. I gotcha. I was thinking back to when I was in college, like let's just say a couple years ago, but I would go to class on Mondays and Wednesdays and go talk to clients on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and whatever I asked on Monday where was for Tuesday's meetings. And it's like I'm learning stuff. I need to know this. I'd always have like a dozen questions, and it's not shocking. People are like, "How'd you learn this so quick?" It's like, well, I didn't take a year learning it, so I thought it had something to do with that. But so it has to do with real estate. And I see here grow your income by helping recover over 50 billion for families across America. And you said something else in foreclosure. So tell us about that because I know enough, but so when the house is in foreclosure, the bank just wants to offload it and get whatever they can, but they're generally losing money if the mortgage was paid in full. So it sounds like the surplus fund is the leftover money that they should have got. Okay. Okay. Oh, so you come in and what do you do at that point? And you just return their money to them. This sounds pretty simplistic, but awesome. Okay. I mean, I know you're joking about it and we're having fun with it, but honestly, you're like, well, it's public record. It's not that hard to find them, and I just call them up and say, you're owed money. Do you want it? I mean, what kind of. I can't tell you how many sales meetings and books and all kinds of stuff, and people are like, you need to. That has got to be the easiest close in the world. Is there anyone who, let me ask you this, is there anyone who is like, not joking aside, but is there anyone who's like, no, absolutely not. I'm allergic to money. Okay. So what do you do at that point? If that you go, and I have a suspicion here. You might get some that are only owed 10 or 20, but I also feel like you might have some that are owed a few 100,000. Because now you're getting into the Nigerian prince area where you're going, hey, you're owed $1.8 million beneficiary. Hello, how are you doing today, sir or madam? What's your routing number? Like, okay, that's so. What happens at that point if whether it's 10 grand or $1 million? What happens when they're like, no, thank you? Like, what happens to that money? Okay, that's awesome. And that's why we have $900 hammers, but that's a whole other thing. So the more you give back to them, the people, as you should, it's taking away from the. Wow, okay. So they don't really care if they give it back or not, and they don't want it to because, like you said, they're de incentivized. How long would it take you to like look up if you just can you? Okay, calm down. So many questions. This is awesome. How long would it take to look up if I said here, look up someone's name and number? Okay, and also, can you pull a CSV and just dump it in there and go, here's like if I said here's 1,000 people, can you flag the 1 in 10? Who uses a CD-ROM anymore? It's not you literally mean a CD-ROM, not even a DVD-ROM. Cool. I would say yeah across the board because I learn a lot of stuff and it's one reason I love this show. It's like having my own Discovery Channel, but um, yeah, so many like you said. The other thing you said, it's all public record. You'd be shocked at how for anyone listening, you'd be shocked at how much public record stuff there is on everyone, everywhere, every day. So don't get too mad at Facebook or Google or Gmail or whoever, because it's like you'd be surprised how much you can find for even maybe $30. And but like you're saying, there's so many hoops. It's all legal, but the hoops you have to jump through. So how long does it take this cycle we're talking about? If I say, hey, here's someone's name right now, it takes a few seconds to look it up. How long does it take to go through? Okay. Oh, I was going to guess 2 months. Mm, interesting. So you can really help a ton of people here. It's just they don't know about it. Yeah. So as far as your system goes, you said FCC. Are you teaching this virtually? Is it in-person workshops? How can if someone wants to learn more about it, tell me a little bit more about the program you have. Mm-hmm. Good for you. Wow. And it doesn't matter if it's foreclosure or anything else. It sounds really simplistic. Like I talk to people all the time, and especially with helping people publish their business books and trainings and stuff. It's like I'm very familiar with this. I've invested hundreds of thousands in trainings and stuff, and I'm like, I can legitimately say I don't think even my own. This is pretty simplistic and awesome. Mine's still great too, just for anyone who wants to publish a business book, but it's way more complex and it takes more time. Like it. You have money. Do you want it back? Like, there's nothing you're going to close easier than that. Yeah. I could even argue, I know friends of mine that are parents that have a harder job selling their kids on eating the broccoli or something like that. You would think that like family members, whether it's your spouse, parent, kids, whatever, it's like, oh, they'd be an easy sell. Absolutely not. Strangers sometimes are easier, but you still have to do the objections and pain points in this. It's like you already identified the pain point. You lost money. Your life's clearly not going fantastic if you just foreclosed. I can help. Would you like it back? Do you want a second chance at life? Here's a bonus. Well, I don't know about that. Like, so when did you get started in this? Okay. Oh no. Oh wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And it's astonishing to me, if it's not on the internet, it must be a scam. But if it is on the internet, can you trust it? Like, holy smokes, people, you got to pick one. How do you handle that objection? Has anyone ever said to you, "Well, I don't think this is real. Is this a scam?" So how do you just show that? Do you show them their actual document, or how do you handle that, or your VAs? You shut your mouth when you're talking to me. Mm-hmm. Okay. Gotcha. Hmm. Oh. So it sounds like a ton of opportunity, and regardless of what the actual figure is, it reminds me of this movie where it was about treasure hunting in the ocean. Matthew McConaughey, and at the end, it's like there's over 200 billion of treasure lost in the ocean that people. It sounds like this is just on land. Whether it's 58 billion, 100 billion, whatever the case is, it's there's a lot of people you can help. They're owed money. They don't know about it. No one's doing it except you guys. Jeez. Yeah. How many years have you what year did you start this? Okay. And with everyone who's gone through your program so far, what would who would you say is the biggest success story and why? Hmm. Good for her. I don't know what they get paid, but I can't imagine. I know statistically, 93% of the population makes under 72,000, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know exact numbers, but I think it would be a safe bet to say it could have possibly been she made more in that one day than a year, or maybe when she started or something. I mean, either way, that's awesome. She and what did she think of it? Was she just like was it hard for her to believe, or was she really thankful and believed it? Because I know sometimes people like myself included 10 years ago when it business started really taking off, it was like this is kind of different, this is surreal, and I like it, but it was just like a culture shock. They're not based on anything. Yeah. Yeah, from what I remember on your one sheet, you not only passed seven figures in business, you also passed eight. And I'm not shocked. Congrats, by the way, but I'm also not shocked because you're helping people make six, an additional six. Money. You better have done it and know what you're talking about. Number one. Yeah, and even better at it because sometimes you just lead people and they come up with their own ideas, and it's like, oh, I never thought about that, but yeah, that's plausible. So, thank you for sharing the biggest success story. I have one quick question for you. Well, two. I don't know why I keep saying one. I guess after 400 episodes, it's a habit. But yellow or black is the first question. Matt, you're in a cool hat there. And let's see what the black question is. Okay. If you weren't doing this, what would you be doing? Yeah, you said that very nonchalant. I have also built the software to build WordPress websites automatically. Um, and you were like, "Yeah, I just built this software to do the thing over here to do the," and I was just like really nonchalant, just like no problem. But I get it. Um, did you program it? Do you have a background in software, or did you just put the right team together and they executed your vision? I want you to say that again because for anyone listening, one of my biggest things is inspiring people to believe they can do more than where they're currently at. And some people, whether regardless of age, because you strike me as you're not in retirement age. Safe to say. So if someone's young, old, middle, whatever, there's always this like, well, I don't have the money. So if you're younger, you generally don't have the money. If you're older, you have the money, but well, I don't want to take the risk. Is like across the spectrum. And the reality is there are so many things out there, whether you have experience or not, you don't need to know everything and be everything to everyone. I I knew a little programming and I was like, for what I want to do and the amount of people I want to help, I don't want to be sitting there 20 hours a day doing it. I learn some stuff. I go, this stuff changes so quick. I don't want to be the linchpin because I'm thinking and can visionary faster than this stuff. And when you said, you know, you don't even know it, good for you. You don't need to. And clearly you're a prime example of don't let anything stop you. You had a vision for it. So uh, tell us more about it. There was no software to make it easy. Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, but you weren't afraid to fail. And I wouldn't even say that's a failure. I'd say it was a stepping stone to learn more of what you needed to do to refine it. That's it. 6 months. That's I don't even care if it's a year or two. Like that's nothing. Oh, that's not fun. Sorry to hear. Yeah, it's a huge value add. Mm-hmm. That's a real good point. A lot of good points there. Because so many people are freaked out. Well, if I put this training, someone's going to copy it. I'm like, okay, so at the very least, they have the business acumen, but you have a shady person that's unscrupulous. So you really think that even if they snow some people over for business, it's going to last long term? Moreover, they don't have your experience. They don't have you know what I mean? There's so many things that go into. I love that. So go ahead and copy it with a Kajabi account. Like, mm. And I did. For anyone listening, I didn't prep him. We just got connected, and you've heard me say it before, but this is fun for me listening to hear him say it. They've already done it. Mm, mm-hmm. that there is so much wisdom in that. I don't even know if you know it because you're on a roll and I didn't want to interrupt, but um, I would have done it nicely. I mean, I know how to interview people. It's kind of what I do, but um, it's so great to hear because all the objections with book publishing, courses, even doing YouTube videos or a podcast or something, it's like I'm putting my stuff out there. It's like, yeah, that's the whole point of business. You go out there and help people. And one thing I've said for years is stop being selfish. When someone wants to hide it and hoard it for them, it's more about like, how am I going to show up in the world? It's like, you're not going to get anywhere near where you want to if you're just hanging on to it. Um, Stop being selfish. It's about them, not you. Like, what'd you say? Like, so yeah, I love your thought process on too, because it's not just that. It's also, this is a small niche industry that, like I was alluding to. Okay, so there's two or three other players, and they're all pricks. Who's going to do business with them? I mean, people are people. People aren't stupid. I've said something else for years, and it's like, if if you're dealing with people who won't notice this, are they really the people you want to be doing business with? Like, if someone really wouldn't be able to put two and two together and go, oh, here's another company. I didn't notice them on the last 48 weeks of training. Now there's this new company all of a sudden. Like, I love how you're thinking about it. If you're that slow, you probably don't want to be working with the person. And, God bless. They're not going to last long term anyway. So, what do you see this? Go ahead. Wow. And then from there, I assume you submit it to the state and just wait on their. So you're taking that time away, but you're taking the risk of carrying the note longer. Yeah, it sounds like it. So that's what I was actually about to ask you is, and congrats on advancing to solving that problem. Cool looking box, by the way. Um, what's the next step? Is there anything else you see problems with surplus funds, or where do you see this going 3, 5 years from now? Yeah. for sure. You need to implement it. And most people don't, and that's where the accountability comes in. Oh, congrats. They're fun. Do you speak at a lot of live events? Yeah. Yeah. That's fantastic. Okay. Not too shabby. Little walking around money. So what I'm hearing a lot of, you love what you do, you're passionate about helping your students, and you're just doing more and more to serve them and make it better and faster and quicker. Nice. Do you, okay. Wow. That's inspired. When you can legit say, "Hey, we've helped recover this much already." You said 3 to 400 million. Here's your goal. That's okay. There's a little bit left to go, but look at the what you've already accomplished. And now you're building up the team of more people, and I feel like the people that come through after probably 3 to 6 months, depending on the business acumen, maybe 9 or 12, maybe 1 out of 10 or 20 become coaches for you also. But I mean, you also have a mechanism where you have that high barrier where they can't even be a coach unless they've done it, and you have so many people coming in, some percentage, it's just going to keep fueling the whole machine. Do you have a goal of like, I want to have 100 coaches, 500 coaches, 1,000? Yeah, that's a big thing too. I've been in a lot of trainings and seen people and advised people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do." I'm like, "You're 3 times over what the whole point of one-on-one and accountability is. Like, it's not a classroom setting or an auditorium for that matter." Yeah, you'd have another 3 or 400 million, huh? Okay. Well, we're gonna thank our sponsor and come back for the imperfect action round. If there's nothing else, is there anything else you want to add so far? Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it. Um, okay, so we're gonna thank sponsor and come right back. Every business needs a book, including yours. Visit freebusinessbookpublishingcourse.com today to learn the 7 steps to publish and promote your nonfiction lead and profit generating business book in 8 weeks. Once again, that's freebusinessbookpublishingcourse.com. And we are back with the imperfect action round. Spencer, are you ready to take imperfect action? I had a feeling you'd say that. I've had some guests. They're like, I think so, or sounds good, and other people are like, every day. My first question to you is, this is great. This is something I've asked on the show for years, but what is the for you? It's just this is great. What's the fastest path to the cash? Getting the money you're already getting your money you're already owed back. Number two, what is the biggest problem you see your prospects making and the fastest way for them to fix it? Mm. Who cares? You have a lead sheet and a phone. And if you don't have a phone, borrow one. Hmm. After what, 2, 3 years? Jeez. So we can take another minute or two. I have one more question and then some other stuff. But this is actually a very good point because I'm thinking of dozens of people where they're like, for example, my core business is business book publishing. And they're like, well, I can't do a business book. I need to redo the website, I need a logo. They think everything needs to look like mine because I've refined it a lot over time. I didn't start with it. To your point right now, it's like all you very often in my trainings, I get high achievers in the room and they think I'm going to do some lights, camera, action, and whatever. And I throw paper and pens on the table. They're like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, it's exactly what you're talking about. Give me 20 leads. Have you called them? Well, my email is down. Well, what to do? You have a probably $2,000 cell phone in your pocket. It's just mind boggling because I didn't have any of this just because I started my first business when I was 12 and sold it to start this one when I was in college. And yeah, you don't need much to start. And to your point, what would someone really need? The lead sheet and a phone? So here's print off 100 leads, and that you could run through that. My most I ever did was 99 cold calls in I think it was an hour using an auto dialer, and it was calling one while it was dropping off a voicemail. It was very efficient, but even if you took a week doing it manually. Hmm. Are you guys using any auto dialers? How much less work could you be doing? So let me ask you: do you think this is a self-image and confidence thing? Like, I don't. They might realize they don't need a website, but it would help them feel like more like a business owner, like imposter syndrome or something. Because there's interesting scenarios where I've told people, I go, you don't need it, but if you really think it's going to help you that much, do it as quick as possible so it's off your plate. And in their scenarios, I feel it's more of like they feel more legitimate. Oh my gosh. Okay. So here's a thought that just came to me. Out of every 100 people you have come through, how many have the website excuse? What about the logo, business cards, all that stuff? Because I feel like you could have a marketing package available to all of them. Be like, okay, now what? Next question, please. Here you go. In 99% of scenarios, I'd go, okay, that's valid. You're giving people back their own money for free. Even if you didn't, I'm glad you have a script. You're a smart business owner. But even if you didn't have a script, how freaking hard of a sell is this? Yeah. Mm, I might borrow that. And I'll give you one back as a fair and equitable trade, not just because they're a coach and they've seen other students, because with your program, the coaches are already vetted and they have their own business. Yeah, just excuses. Yeah, it sounds like a killer system you've put together. That's for sure. And the sounds like your coaches. I could talk to them and they'd be just as qualified too. So thank you for doing the right thing from one business owner to the next. seriously, because there's a lot of people. I don't want them on the show. I don't want them as clients. I don't even really want to talk to them because I know they're doing nefarious crap. And I'd love being around people like you and others that are doing the right stuff to have this ripple effect. So thank you for doing it the right way and actually making a difference in the world. So I got a couple. Go. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah. Try. I have one more question about the speed round thing we are talking about, whatever I called it. I'm just having so much fun with this. What's the best way to maximize customer lifetime value? Yeah. Yeah, keep it simple. I think nowadays everything is so convoluted and complex. We can build businesses faster than ever, and there's a lot more opportunity, no doubt. But it's also so many distractions. Like, there's so many things. Oh, should I do this? This? No, just pick up the phone. Like, literally. And then have a few systems once you scale past 10, 20, 50, 100 clients. Post-its don't work forever. So, yeah, pros and cons to all this. And I'm glad you're teaching the thinking because you can get distracted at any point. Um, what books would you recommend to Expert Authority World? Excellent. Thank you very much for that. And I was going to make a joke about the. I almost posted something on social the other day that was like, just listen to this great audiobook written and narrated by Abraham Lincoln. It's like the stuff on the internet nowadays. But yeah, I love reading older books because it's like, how, it's one thing to go, okay, you built this thriving corporation nowadays, but how did they literally, how they do it 100 years ago, 200 years ago when you had like grass fields and sheep? But that mindset, if you have the mindset 200 years ago and someone doesn't have it now, well, it's without the only differentiator. So, where would you like people to learn more? Excellent. Well, I'm loving what I've heard already and love what I've seen so far, and I definitely want to check out more. So thanks for mentioning the YouTube and Thanks for coming on. This has been a lot of fun, and I know Expert Authority World got stuff out of it, and I sure did myself also. So thank you. All right, Expert Authority World, we have another great episode here today. I will see you on the next one. Make it a great day.